Oh, yeah, Damon's not gonna be here. Whoops. Forgot to say something.
What?
Yeah, he is, I don't know. He just said he couldn't be here, so. Sad.
Likely story. Scared of krakens now.
It's like I've killed one. No, he killed the Kraken down here. You guys are safe now. No more sea monsters.
Nice.
Well, at least no more Krakens. So.
Yeah.
So Dylan's character is safe, right?
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Never safe.
Okay, so we don't have a recap, and I actually didn't rewatch all of our last session, which I normally do, so I'm a little bit scattered. Alright, so last session we were sort of wrapping up the interim sessions in between arcs, though I guess I'm including this as part of Arc 3. You guys made it back to Mossstone, and then you parted ways for the first time in, well, a long while at least. For some of you, the first time in the campaign, I guess. And you went out to research your own individual things. Terran went to see what he could do about his sort of soul debt to Asmodeus, and he went to Rusty at the advice of Arvine, who was willing to pay that debt in exchange for some future help. Let's see, Damon went off to fight a Kraken, and did, and killed it with the help of a very effective crew of elite monster slaying people, and their glorious and unshakable leader, Bob Newman. Following that, Vosner, Varel, and Isolde went to Candlekeep, where Varel met with his sort of handlers, if you will, the Wizards Alliance higher-ups, in particular the Archmage Silverhand, Illustrial Silverhand, who none of you have seen, and Varel had a nice chat with her about continuing his work for Marin. You guys did some research on various things to some degrees of success, with quite a bit of failure, as you are not the scholarly types. And on one of your last evenings there, Varel's life was almost squished out by the act of a nefarious scribe named... what was his name? Oh, I can't remember. I thought it was like with a P. Anyways, he's clearly an integral member of the story. Anyways, he tried to kill Varel, and Vosner, who was having a troubling dream, interacting with a figure that he has seen before now, warned him about this upcoming event, and Vosner was able to jump to and intercede before Varel was killed. One second, I think Joe just getting into some shit.
Just for the record, the dick assassin's name was Parmac.
Parmac. I was thinking Penmark. Anyways. Yeah, so Parmac tried to kill Varel and told him that he would never succeed at carrying out whatever it was that Varel was trying to carry out. And you guys were able to hold him off, and once he saw that he wasn't going to be able to defeat Varel, he swallowed something which killed him. And he died in front of you guys. What else happened? Anything else? you guys met back up in Mossstone shortly after, and having gleaned some new information, and you all sort of shared your adventures with one another in the guild hall, and then Marin met with you and expressed to you that Dragon Squad, who was tasked with opening the portal on the Isle of Chult and finding the Staff of Illusion, has gone missing and has not reported back, and it has been 2 weeks now, and they need somebody to go in and either retrieve them or figure out what happened to them. And they have tasked you, who are now the most capable and highest level squad at the guild, with the exception, I suppose, of Gopher Squad, who is still your equal.
The fact that they're still our equal is infuriating.
Hey, they're keeping up. They haven't died yet. Other question? Anybody have questions? Forget. Did I leave out anything? You guys kind of left with like shopping stuff in mind. You guys, those of you who are OG guild members, have a lot of guild coins now because of completing that previous quest, and everybody else kind of received their weapon or item through quests, through their side quests of Damon's Arm and Varel's Robes, and whatever crazy shit I gave. Bob Newman.
I'm posting in the chat what I spent my guild coins on.
Okay. Holy.
Oh, right. I guess I could do that.
Potion of Speed. Scroll of Banishment, Invisibility, Dispel Magic, Haste. Wow.
You didn't have, I didn't see, it could be just because I missed it, spell score level 2s, but I just went exactly in the middle of 1 and 3 for the price.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Picking up just doesn't know how to make those. I don't know, 2?
It doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I'd imagine, I guess Baron is making all of those. Or he's making...
Or 3, sorry, not 2. They didn't have 3s.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
And I went in the middle of 2, and yeah.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Quick question: should I change or update my dragon scale armor?
Oh,
Since,
right. Did you just throw Terran on the map?
Yeah, I don't know why I decided to do that, but...
I didn't even know
Everyone's on the map.
I didn't even know you had that choice. Yeah, the token is you.
Yeah. He's just swimming right now.
He's deleted is what he is. Alright. Hold on. Let me get
Whoa.
Bosner. Okay. Bosner's armor. You used the dragon scales of the white dragon to enhance your already green stuff, right?
Yeah, so it was like another +1 to AC and whatever white dragon scales are added on top of that.
Yeah, that checks out. Okay, so I've added that. Ooh, let me make sure it affects the thing. Okay, so you should have that. There's that. Oh my gosh, you have no dex.
Yes, and that's why I need better armor.
Yeah, let's say it's 16 plus your dex, but you're at 0 dex. Okay. Let me add your cold resistance.
I got wild shapes to give me dex.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, you really are min-maxing it on the wild shapes because you've got really high mental stats for wild shapes. Okay. So I've got that added. Bosnia, you should be good to go on that front. Was there anything else purchase-wise for people?
At the guild, no.
Interesting. What does that mean?
Because I'd spent all of my money on that armor.
Right. Okay, I thought maybe you meant that you had other money to spend elsewhere.
The whatever we have at Waterdeep, if we ever go there.
Well, I mean, that's sort of my assumption, is that you could use this time to go do that, if you're doing that.
Did anyone have equipment they saw and wanted at Waterdeep?
Yeah, it's essentially Silver Ray Moon, right? All of our Silver Ray Moon stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what I said was the same prices.
Cool.
Unless I said otherwise.
We have 34 grand. So, I'm gonna upgrade my shield to be a +1 shield. How much does that cost, John? I know
Good
we
question.
talked about it briefly.
So you're gonna take your shield, that is a fire resistance shield, and you are going to bump it up to fire resistance +1.
Correct.
Intermission music while I look this up.
Do 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 do.
I like that this game already has music in it. Dylan's singing over top of it.
Oh, that's funny. I had the music turned down, so I only heard Dylan. I was like, gee, how nice.
It's better that way.
Just turned my music back up.
So let's see. Fires. Okay, I think the way I do it is, since the shield itself is homebrewed, a shield of or like an armor of resistance or a ring of resistance would normally be 6,000 plus thing. So I'd say to get a +1 shield of fire resistance, the enchantment's gonna cost you 6,000 gold.
Cool.
So you can up your shield to +1 basically, and then that will cost 6,000. One second. Alternatively, you could make it a +2 shield for 24,000 gold.
Yeah, that's like more than 2/3 of the money that we have as a group.
I feel like you guys had more money. I don't know why. Did you like take some of it and put it in that bank, but then you kept the rest of it? I'm kind of confused by that.
Gave some of it to Joha for the orphanage.
I think a lot of us have
Stupid
cash
orphans.
just on hand as well. I know I've got 145 platinum that are just like I kept.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if anybody else has those too.
Mm-hmm.
I always put my my money in the group pot.
Well, my thinking was because we won't have the bank always. I
Right.
have the extra cash on hand.
Are you getting? Oh, you have an Iron Stone of Intellect to sell. What is this? So you're buying a frost? What's a frost band?
Oh,
sorry.
brand? Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
frost brand is a sword.
yeah.
Are you
Since I
buying
gave up my staff.
Are you buying a sword? Magic sword?
Yeah.
Are you proficient in? Druids can't even use metal
Can I
weapons.
not?
I don't think
thought
so.
I could. Let me check.
I think one of the limitations on druids that's sort of like built into the game is that they don't wield weapons made of metal.
Besides scimitars.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's sort of
Sure.
where I was going with it.
Oh, a scimitar frost brand. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
Because elves and Lord of the Rings have scimitars, so druids can too, I think.
Okay. Oh,
Your call.
I see. You're doing it to get resistance to fire damage. Okay. Um. The question would be, do you get that resistance while you're in your wild shape form?
I don't know.
And it does require attunement. Do you have the slot for it?
Yeah, because I sold the Staff of Withering.
Got it. That is tricky because normally it's kind of like a fun. So like normally, the only way to get resistance to an element would be to attune to something that, and it costs like 6,000 gold for the armor. So to make it into sword form, I feel like you couldn't get the effect of it while in your wild shape because it specifically says while holding it. Like if it said while attuned to it, I'd allow it, I think.
Oh, okay.
So if that changes your...
Yeah. I guess I'll look at other things then.
Okay. Daryl, did you sell your Iron Stone of Intellect earlier?
No, I just unequipped it.
Okay.
I mean, we don't need to like act it out or anything. We can just add the gold value to our
Sure.
pot.
Sure. Let me look it up.
Yeah. I have a Wand of the War Mage +1 to sell, and an Iron Stone of Protection to sell as well.
Okay. Iron Stone of Intellect, you can get 1,500 gold for that.
Okay. If it's cool, I'm just going to keep that on my person instead of adding it to the bank just for personal expenses.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. And then for the Wand of the War Mage, you can get 600 gold for that.
Alright, and the Iron Stone of Protection.
How much is that?
Iron Stone of
Boost to
Protection
an
is
AC?
600 gold.
Alright.
What
Unless
do you-
someone wants it.
What is it? Is it like +1 or +2?
You gain +1 AC.
I
That
might
would
just
work
go
in your
for-
wild shapes, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
Yeah, and then I don't have to spend money, and then it gives
Alright.
me another little boost.
I'll drag it from your character sheet to his.
Alright, sweet.
Oh, thanks, GM.
It is attunement. Just
Yeah. Well, since I
Okay.
didn't get that magic sword, then I will just get the. I'll get another potion of heroism.
sweet.
Sweet, it worked. Put you to 17 AC.
It's
no.
still in my character sheet, so I'm just.
Oh,
gonna
I'll
delete
delete. Oh yeah, you can delete it.
it. I didn't know if like it would remove it from my.
No, that's good.
Sweet.
You also have a Cloak of Protection on Vosner.
Do I?
It says that in your inventory. I think you got that from DeMarcus. So you've
I
got
just
the
put the
pendant.
gold in my stash or in my character sheet.
Where is my character?
It's probably actually better than the Iron Stone of Protection.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I stopped using the Iron Stone of Protection because I got a Ring of Protection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cloak of Protection is probably better. So we'll equip that and take off the Iron Stone. Do you want to sell that then for 600 gold?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
sell it.
Yeah. The cloak gives you +1 to AC, but also to saves.
Oh, right. Cool.
So it gives you better bonuses.
Alright, well, then I should be full up on my things then.
Can we add the 600? I'm gonna add the 600 for the Iron Stone to the group
Yep,
loot
sounds
bag
good.
of holding. Or yeah.
Anybody else have purchases?
Not a purchase, but I upped the AC of my shield in my character sheet, and it did not update my AC.
Oh, let me fix that. Yeah, I fixed that earlier today, but I didn't know if you were gonna have a +1 shield, so let me change that.
Can you copy spells in your spellbook, or do you have to redrag it?
I think you have to redrag it. That's one of those things that I wish they had. It's just an easy way to copy.
Because I need to do like the ice version of my new spells.
Okay, Laurel, it should be fixed now.
Oh.
And the Tome of Understanding got you to 22, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
you
I'm
already
gonna
updated it.
delete that item. And then... Oh, actually... Fuck. It doesn't get deleted, huh? You have to live another 100 years, and then you can use it again.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I feel like you should just stash it in the like our dorm, so that like whoever is the next Bear Squad dorm, like whoever inherits the title will get it in 100 years.
I'm into that.
Okay. Other things? By the way, I did go through and add a bunch of features to your guys' like passive abilities and stuff, things that you already had. So like when we first started playing this, the character sheets were pretty limited on what they included, and now they've added a lot of cool stuff. So I've sort of updated your characters in line with the things you should have. I don't know if all of those buttons work, but they'll at least tell you information in case you need to know something about how your character works. For instance, like I put your feats and stuff in there. Or at least I tried to. If I missed something, then I bet.
Cool.
Good lord.
That's a lot of dice.
Cool. Oh shit, that was an amazing roll too.
Yeah.
10
It's 10 10-foot cubes. So you could literally do that 53 damage in 10 different places.
There wasn't a option. It could be because of the map. I don't know. To lay a template.
Oh. Interesting. When you click on the spell, does it have like, do you have it set up for the spaces that it would consume? Alternatively, you might not want to do that because the way the game is programmed, it might only let you lay one template rather than 10 individual templates.
Yeah.
It might be easier to just target all 10 things that you want to hit.
Like everything in the area and just target them and go.
Yeah, because if you're gonna hit 10 different spots, you might just click to the 10 monsters you're gonna hit.
Right, instead of doing like a different roll and different program for each thing.
Exactly. So
That
treat
makes
it like a
sense.
targeted spell. And then you'll just have to be on the honor system for moments when you think what you're targeting would hit multiple things. 10 locations, though, makes it seem like it'd be pretty easy to hit.
Yeah.
Lots of shit. Okay. Other questions? So you guys also hit level 13, so I'm not sure if you did that, leveled up your character in the game, and then added the spells that you prepared and stuff like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, you guys are in the big leagues now. I also love how I looked at all of your characters when I was doing the prep for this, and it was like each person only had like 1 or 2 level 7 spells, but they were all like just do as much damage as humanly possible. It's like you get teleport and plane shift and everything. Nobody cared about that. There's like fire, like 2 of you had firestorm and finger of death, and I was like, all right, that's our group.
We're on a rampage, man.
Yeah, I mean, I did warn you that we weren't going to be able to do much planar travel in this scenario, so, you know, that makes sense that you wouldn't have picked it up right away. Okay, so, I think that's everything. I guess then we pick up with... I can't even remember where we left off. You guys had just been given this quest by Marin, and you had left. I'll say you're back in your dorm, and I don't know, maybe it's time to go to bed, and you guys went and did some of this shopping. Maybe Varel took you guys quickly to Waterdeep to buy whatever you needed to buy. And then you guys checked in with Pickanip and bought all the supplies and scrolls and all that stuff that you wanted. And you arrived back in the evening in the Bear Squad barracks, the 5 of you.
Is there like a narrative way that we're writing Damon out?
Oh, Damon is along for the ride. Basically, I'm playing as Damon. So.
Okay. You just said the 5 of us, and I was like, oh.
Well, because Tim's not here.
That's true, there are only 5 of us.
For now.
Man. Well, I don't think there's anything else that I need to get done at the guild. And Marin said that we had to leave in the morning, right?
Yeah, he recommended you guys leave in the morning for
Right.
the purposes of just getting there on time.
Do we know who will be taking us?
Damon chirps up and says, I have a friend.
Friend?
A associate who is willing to give us a ride.
He's trustworthy, I assume?
He saved my life and built this arm. And then he shows you the whole arm.
Nice to meet the people that you spent the last few weeks with.
The crew will most likely not be there. They are spending their plunder.
Well, at least the captain then.
Yes. His name is Bob Newman.
Interesting.
He is very interesting.
Well, I look forward to meeting him then. And do we know approximately how long it will take us to get to Chult?
It's a great question. The clunker moves pretty quick, but you guys heading to Fort Balarian is going to be 600 miles, so... Tim, how fast does your boat go?
Real fast? I don't know.
I mean, if you were still co-DMing, I would have you have figured out how fast all the boats go. So maybe you can just figure that out.
Right. It's a magical boat, right?
Yeah, it's like a steamboat basically, but
Give me a second.
yeah. I believe it is not quite steampunk. It is what nerds call magitech. It's a technical distinction.
Really?
Yeah, steampunk is like all mechanical. Magitech is like a mix between technology and magic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well. Nerds.
Fucking got him.
What do you think we're doing here, Garrett?
Yeah.
Nerds.
So in real life, it turns out that steamboats are actually like kind of slower than most sailboats.
Oh.
But seeing as how it's magical, I don't know, maybe like 10 to 15 miles an hour.
Okay.
Like that.
Let's say 10 miles an hour. So you're getting like 240 miles a day, which means you could get to Gunderlin in a 24-hour period. And then you could get from there to Fort Balarian, another 400 miles. So it's about a 3-day trip.
not bad.
Not bad at all. I'm pretty sure you guys went out to the Dandy Isle and back in like one crazy day.
Pretty sure it took us almost that long to get to the Pirate King Isle off Luskin.
Mhm.
Old Gunderland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. 200 miles. Okay. So, is there anything you guys want to do before you go to bed and get ready to leave in the morning?
I think Izzy's probably just soaking up the last night in the dorms and, I don't know, maybe writing some correspondence at Aristus's desk. Sending letters home to her parents and to Johoff.
What are you telling Joha?
Just like where we're going and asking him how things are and just pen pal stuff.
Gotcha. Not gonna use message or just gonna or send him. Just gonna send him a letter.
Yep, just old school.
Nice.
Why not?
Comforting. Okay. Yeah, you write up these letters, and an assistant eventually takes them in the morning. Vosner, are you doing anything particular today?
Oh shoot. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
They roll.
Yeah, nothing.
Are you doing anything?
Yeah, just curious, do we remember who our contact is at the fort that we're landing on?
Yeah. I told you last time, but let me pull it up. Commander Ninon.
Okay. Just to try it out, could I use the scry ability of the Robe of the Master Wizard to scry on him, see what he's up to?
Yeah. Why don't you post scry into the chat though, so I can read, because you only really know him by name.
Yeah, I'll have to look the spell up here. Just give me a sec.
Yeah, I already sent you the picture of him. Oop, closed it.
Oops.
Sorry. I already showed you the picture of him, and then I looked it up and I realized that canonically, the Ninon was actually a woman. I was like, fuck. Well, whatever. In this game, Ninon isn't.
I'm trying to drag and drop scry. There we go. Bam.
Oh, you don't need to drag and drop, do you? Oh, you're also on a private roll. So nobody else can see that.
Yeah,
So you probably don't have a likeness or a picture. You don't have a possession or a garment. You are not familiar, so you've heard of the target. I'd say you're at a +5 on this save, so he has to make a wisdom save. Let me look up his stats. Okay, wisdom save. Alright, I'm gonna say he's a paladin +8 wisdom save. So he gets a 4 + 8 + 5, so 9 + 8 is 17, and your spell save is higher than that. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So you think of this person. You probably need actually a scrying device, but I guess maybe. How does this work with your robe, do you think?
Well, it is littered with eyes, so I would assume maybe they kind of glow gently and just as part of the magical effects of a robe of eyes. Like it has that seeing capacity kind of woven into it.
Yeah. So maybe like you put your hood up and you can like see into the darkness of your hood a different place or something.
Yeah, or like the helmet on Professor X that Professor X puts on and lets him see things. Like I pull the hood up and it has that kind of effect.
Okay, yeah. So you sort of get into a dark place, sensory deprivation chamber style, and look into the hood, and you see a man that you don't recognize super well other than what you've been told in the stories. And he is in the thick of it. You find him and he is shouting orders at people, and you see him sort of like running and swinging a sword and just like beheading monsters left and right. And you see him sort of standing side by side with other people wearing similar reddish plate mail armor that is also emboldened with that symbol of the flaming fist. And you watch this for a while. He seems to be in the middle of a very intense battle with a sort of horde of undead creatures in the jungle.
Gnarly.
Is there anything else you want to like try to perceive about him or about what's happening?
I wouldn't even know where to begin. I think it's enough just to know that he's currently fighting hordes of undead before we even arrive. I'll share that with the squad and see what they think.
Yeah. From your perspective, this is like one of the more gruesome fights you've ever witnessed. Like it's this just unceasing vicious battle, and you see him like every once in a while charge his sword with a smite and just like explode a zombie.
Okay.
And yeah, it's pretty. You see him like healing fellow flaming fists on the ground who have passed out unconscious, bringing them back. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
An impressive paladin fighting like a madman. Yeah, I'll definitely let the crew know that we're in for it when we get there.
Okay. So that is what you see with your scry.
Cool.
Yep. Let's see, who else? Taryn, are you doing anything?
I don't think so. Terran's just gonna be kind of relaxing before the big day.
Okay. Another thing. Varel, the first time you walk down the halls of the guild wearing this robe, you recognize that there are multiple figures standing around, standing guard, absolutely still and completely invisible to everybody else.
In the hallway.
Uh-huh.
What?
Can I roll to see like if I recognize them?
I mean, you're not really a person from around here, so you wouldn't recognize them as like any individual, but they are humanoid figures in armor or robes who seem to be keeping themselves on guard at all times.
Okay.
And
I'll
they-
acknowledge them. Oh yeah.
It's sort of like guards in shifts, you know, like standing guard at various entry points and stuff. But sort of as you normally see standard guards standing around in their sort of armor, helpers of the guild and, you know, servants and stuff, you also just see that there happens to be another like set of guards associated with each of those posts that are also invisible.
Interesting. Maybe I don't acknowledge them. I'm not quite sure if I want them to know that I see them, but
Sure.
like I file that away, and I'll probably ask Marin about it if I see him again.
Yeah.
Cool. I fidget with my ring of invisibility, tempted to put it on myself, but I resist.
Sure. If you do, the Nazgul will be after you.
again.
That was the rule with the ring. So you
Not
can have
again.
a ring that makes you invisible, but it also is the one ring.
Man, I hate being lord of this ring.
Nice. I'm not even mad. Okay, so I guess everybody goes to bed. Unless, what is Bob Newman doing?
if you were to like the camera to like go over to where Bob Newman is, first you wouldn't see him. You would just hear a bunch of swearing and cussing, and then you would see the ends of 2 dirty boots sticking out from underneath a motor, and just a bunch of clattering, and there's like smoke billowing out of it, and there's just a string of swear words, and that's it.
Got it. Trying to get the boat working. Okay. Yeah, so so everybody goes to bed. And you guys wake up early in the guild, and once again, delivered to your guild hall room is the breakfast order that was set long ago when you guys first started here. Croissants and teas and coffee and all that stuff. And Damon says to all of you, "Your food has arrived." And he's standing ready with like swords on his back and stuff.
Farrell kind of steps up from his meditative trance and takes his hood off and helps himself to some tea.
Yeah, you guys get a long rest if you haven't done that.
Ah, yes.
Taryn will start picking at the food, finding a croissant and some meat and sausage.
I suppose this is the time to bring it up. But if we're to leave today to Fort Belawarian, you should all know that upon scrying on our contact last evening, I discovered that he was in the throes of battle with a horde of undead, and so I'm concerned that we're sailing into violence. Sure, it's several days away, but seems things are not peaceful at our destination.
Damon comes and says, "That is upsetting news." Perhaps we should keep tabs on him to make sure he is alive when we arrive.
I think that's a good idea. I wonder if those undead are responsible for Dragon Squad having gone missing, or if it's something worse.
Damon turns to the rest of you to see if you respond.
Seems like it is a violent place overall, so I'm not entirely surprised.
Did he seem capable?
More than.
That's good.
Well, regardless, we'll confront that when we arrive.
I wonder if he knew Dragon Squad. Hopefully he'll be able to maybe give us some information on where they were last seen.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Imagine it'd be difficult for a squad from the guild to arrive anywhere and be unnoticed.
Right? Like, if he is our contact, was he not also theirs? And if someone else was their contact, is that person missing as well? There's a lot of questions we'll have to figure out when we get there.
Shall we depart then?
Yeah, let's get a move on.
I look towards Damon, yeah.
Damon turns to all of you and says, "I have already asked Bob Newman to help us. He owes me a favor." Also,
See, a
the
hell of a
guild is
favor.
offering him 5,000 gold.
That'll do it.
It must be not a easy trip then.
He has the fastest ship.
Okay.
Well, it'll be quick, even if difficult. Then.
Damon nods. Anything you guys want to do before you head down to the port?
I think I'm good.
I'm ready.
You guys start walking down to the port, and you are sort of approaching the rest of the city is still asleep, but the port is rather active. You get the feeling now that this port is almost always active, as ships are coming in the morning, in the evening, and in the night now. And as you approach, you see not too far away a familiar face. This fellow. He is currently having a conversation with a ship, somebody who's the captain of a ship, and they seem to be arguing quite a bit.
That luscious, pencil thin mustache.
What a handsome man.
I hold Isilda back. Trying to
Not her
remind
type.
her of what we're doing.
He does not recognize you. Do you guys approach him, or do you just walk away?
Yeah, can we kind of like hear what they're arguing about as we get closer?
Yeah, roll a perception check for me. Wow. Yeah, you pick up that he is arguing with somebody who runs a sailing vessel about letting the non-sailing ships in the port. And there is an argument about whether or not these non-sailing ships should be allowed in, and sort of like a debate about whether or not the future of ships will be these sort of steam-based ones, Magipunk ones that we know Bob Newman to be running. And the guy is actually complaining about Bob Newman's ship because it is always loud, and he's always yelling and swearing and clanking around on there. And his crew, who's docked right next to it, trying to sleep on their ship, are very disrupted. And Miliardo is sort of trying to apologize for Bob Newman's loud noises.
I mean, I guess if we're pretty close to them, I'll just pipe up and say, don't think that it will be a problem much longer. I think that is the ship that we are taking out of port, so you'll have some sleep for at least a little while.
He goes, about time! And Miliardo sort of turns to you, not expecting to see you, and says, Isolda, it is a pleasure.
Pleasure for me as well. It is nice to see you, I guess, running this booming city now.
Yes, well, it is in no small measure your doing that brought this about. I'm eternally grateful. What can I do for all of you?
Ooh, I don't think we need anything from you. I just thought it would be nice to show our face and say hi while we are very, very briefly in town. And very briefly, we are about to board a ship and go.
Of course. Yes, sorry. I'm used to assuming that people are looking for something when they come to talk to me. It's now sort of an endless curse. But yes, I should have expected as much. Well, welcome back, and sad to see you go, but yes, a lot going on here. I heard you were up north. How was that?
It was good. It was cold, but we did what we went there to do. Is everything alright here? Are there any concerns or trouble going on?
Oh, well, plenty of trouble. Growing pains, really. This city is on its way up. as they say. Perhaps it will be the next Waterdeep. He sort of shines in a moment, thinking about that. But plenty of work to do before then. And yes, plenty of bureaucratic hoops to jump through before we can reach that point.
Well, don't let us hold you up if you are busy. I just thought we would say hi. And I suppose we'll see you again, maybe when we return.
Yes, of course. Anytime. You are welcome in my manor.
She'll just kind of wave and keep walking towards the Newman ship.
Yeah, Bob Newman's ship is not that far. In fact, you can probably see it from where you're standing. What's Bob Newman doing on his ship right now?
So I assume it's a nice day.
Oh yeah, it's like a beautiful morning.
So he's taken a bit of a break from clanking around on the ship, and he's pulled an old, dilapidated rocking chair out of his cabin and sitting on the deck, and he's just rocking away with a nondescript sort of jug of something in one hand and a biscuit in the other. And he's covered in grease. The biscuit is like taking on a little bit of grease from his fingers, but he doesn't seem to notice. And chugging some kind of fire water down in between bites of biscuit.
Okay. Damon sort of leads all of you aboard the ship, and you all see Bob Newman for the first time.
Well, he's back, is he? How's that arm doing there?
It is highly functionable, and he ejects the flaming sword from it and lights it all in one motion, and then it puts it back in.
Ooh, that's a pretty piece. All right, what we got going on here then?
We are ready to embark.
All right, well, you gonna do some introductions?
My apologies. This is Vayrol, Osner, Isolda, Taryn.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, the pleasure's all mine, I'm sure.
Well met.
And
let me
then-
just...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, he also points to Bob and says, "This is Bob Newman."
This here is my trusty dog, as well. Pay him no mind, he keeps out of the way. The dog kind of comes up, and even though it's mechanical, as Bob Newman reaches down and kind of gives it like a pat, its like back leg comes up like it's scratching itself. And it's just, there's like grease dripping out of it, and a lot of it is like hot enough grease that there's just smoke coming off of it constantly.
Damon turns to you all and says, "Rufus has a leaking problem."
Vosner looks terrified and curious.
Yeah, I reckon it's part of its charm. Well, we all ready to go then?
I suppose.
I appreciate you taking us on this journey.
Oh, ain't
You-
nothing, pretty lady. After the way here Damon handled himself, I was happy to help.
Have you been there before?
Fuck no.
It will be an adventure for all of us then.
Yeah, I reckon so. I'm a bit of a performer myself. I thought maybe I'd see if there was some gigs around when I got there. I was looking to expand and get the word out, maybe sell some merch, if you know what I mean.
Bob Newman is very talented.
She looks like she has no idea what he means. Just kind of nods.
So, Bob gets up off his rocking chair and wanders over, and starting this thing is very much of like a putting a leg up on the motor and then like yanking a ripcord repeatedly. And as typical, like the first 7, 8, 9 times, like nothing happens. It just coughs and sputters, and he's over there like swearing up a storm, just like God's damn old.
Does he have to like keep taking a break to viciously press the little red button that like pumps air in?
Yeah. Presses it too many times, like, oh God damn, I flooded it. Eventually, it kind of starts to sputter to life, and then starts to slow down like it's about to stop. He grabs a wrench off of his belt and just smacks, like a full-arm swing, clangs off the thing, and then it sputters to life, belches out a massive, massive cloud of black smoke. And you guys are ready to go.
And yeah, you guys take off into Firedrake Bay, and at an amazing speed. You guys are going like 15 miles an hour, or whatever we said, 10 miles an hour. But it's like a constant. You're used to traveling sailing ships where, the speed sort of wax and wane based off the winds. But even in a calm day with not much breeze, this ship just starts chugging along. And you guys make it in the first half of the day, 100 miles out to Firedrake Bay. And at one point, while you guys are out at sea, flying above you, high above those with high, who can have high passive perception, and Terran, because he knows to sort of look for it, see a flying dragon who looks like that. And Terran, you recognize it to be Rusty, flying high above all of you.
Would I recognize Rusty too? Since
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen him
Vosner, you too.
in his
Sorry.
dragon form?
Was he like circling us or like flying around?
No, he's just sort of patrolling the bay, and you just see him for a moment, kind of protecting the area.
Sweet.
Cool. Does he look like he's going in any particular direction? Just to save as a mental note? Okay.
No, he just seems to be out flying around.
Cool.
And is there anything you guys want to do on your first day of travel? Any conversations or anything? Seeing none.
I think
oh yeah.
Bob is going to sit in his rocking chair and whittle for a little while. And then about maybe, 3 hours into the trip, his eyes will narrow and he'll kind of cock his head like he's listening to the ship. And then he gets up and you can tell he's sort of trying to be nonchalant, but there's also a bit of a hurry in his step. And he goes down below and sort of surreptitiously comes up with 2 buckets, whistling away. And you notice that they are definitely full of water, and he just kind of chucks them over the side. Like, not the whole bucket, just the contents over the side of the boat. And then goes back down. Makes 3 or 4 trips like that, the whole time whistling, sort of looking around like there's nothing major going on. But, like, very definitely bailing water.
I'll turn to Damon and say, is this ship sound? Are we going to even make it?
He looks at you and says, I do not know very much about ships.
Okay. You think he would like any help?
You could ask him.
All right. I'll go over to Bob and say, is there... I wonder if I have shape water. Before I even ask, I need to make sure I have this spell. So, hold on a sec. I think I have shape water.
You also have like not
Oh yeah,
tradecraft,
control water.
but like mending. Do you have mending?
Ironically, I
don't
think Bob does too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you guys could mend it together if you needed to.
I have to prepare it, but I can
okay.
do that. But I have control water, and I need to take a rest because all my things. Yeah.
It seems like it's a small enough leak that Bob can handle it with buckets.
Yeah, he for sure mends it once he finds it.
Yeah. So you guys do fine for the whole first day, and you keep plugging away, and it starts to get late. And late at night, you guys pass by the Isle of New Gunderland, and can see. Let's see, this picture from far away of the shores.
Whoa, binocular vision. So it doesn't look like it's on fire anymore?
Mm-mm.
Nice. Are we going there, or are we just passing by it?
You're just passing by for now. It is now like, I guess that's through the night, so you sort of pass by it at, I'll say like this is in the evening, yeah. Or maybe in the morning you get to this point, because I guess it would be 24 hours. So in the morning of the second day you wake up to see the shores of Gunderland as you're passing, scooting on by.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, Izzy will sit up on deck and kind of watch it as they sail around it.
Bob will notice and kind of go, "You familiar with that there island?"
Damon says, "We were once there."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a job there. We helped out the locals deal with a problem with some pretty dangerous creatures.
Yeah, well, I don't know nothing about that, but word on the street is that the locals themselves is kind of dangerous critters.
Yes and no.
Oh, we didn't hear you at all, Laurel. Have you been talking this long? I heard baby noises not that long ago, but then.
You heard the baby, but not me?
Yeah, I heard the baby, and then you didn't say anything. And I was like, huh, maybe she's
Weird.
dealing with baby stuff.
Yeah, no. She's just chilling. She had said in response to Bob Newman that they had done work there. Just kidding, she's not chilling. That they had done work there a couple months back.
Okay. All right. Somebody roll for me a d20. Nice. First one counts. Okay. You guys travel for another 12 hours, keeping the same pace, going another 120 miles, traveling farther away from and farther south than you've ever been before, out into the shining sea.
Hey, what's the weather like?
It's been really pleasant this whole time. It's been like sort of sunny and with a slight breeze, some clouds in the sky, but pretty tame. Now you're like so far out into the sea though that it's hard to see anything except for water in all directions.
Is it like super hot?
I wouldn't say it's super hot, but it is warm, like probably 80s.
Yeah.
You also have a shield of fire resistance, so you good.
Yeah, just
Taryn's,
sit up
like,
on deck
sitting
with it
in-
over my head.
Taryn's just sitting in one of the cabins with his staff providing air conditioning for whoever wants it.
Dope.
Vosnar
Need that in
goes
real
down
life.
there. He's a northern druid.
And Damon is like sitting near the front of the deck, just perpetually scanning the water for monsters.
Karen will keep an eye out on the sky for Rusty or other dragons flying about.
Yeah. Okay. So, somebody roll me. So that's the next day, basically. Now it's the night. Somebody roll me a d20 for the night of the second day.
Oh no.
You guys travel another 120 miles, and it is now the morning of the second day of travel. And you can now see faintly in the distance the green island of Chult. You know that it is probably close to 18 hours away for the travel that you'll get to the port. Or not the port, the fort.
So we're going like around the peninsula.
Correct, yeah.
And then okay. Does it look like a dangerous coast from the distance at least?
You cannot tell.
Do I spot any dinosaurs?
From 100 miles away? No.
Darn.
Sorry.
Could I feel in my body that I soon will master this form of a dinosaur?
Yeah. You get that feel.
Perfect.
Taryn clutches his scroll of dinosaur protection closer to his chest.
Is Taryn perpetually afraid of dinosaurs? Did we roll that?
I think
so.
I don't think it's like a thing. I think they make him uncomfortable, but I think the actual like mechanical fear of dinosaurs stopped when like the corruption stopped.
Yeah. I would like to think that if a dinosaur has a fear effect, Taryn has disadvantage on it. But I don't know if they actually do.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I think that
seems like so long ago.
Also,
You guys still have that scroll too.
Bosmer,
I still do. Protection from fish folk, I think mine was.
The Kuatoa.
Whatever those fish folk were that like netted us and dragged us underwater.
It's the sort of thing where like, you know, like people who when they're young have like a bad experience with a dog and then like the rest of their lives, like they're not scared of dogs, they're just a little bit uncomfortable when everyone's around.
Yes.
It's that sort of thing.
Okay. For the record, Vosner has seen dinosaurs. He went on that excursion. He saw
hell dinosaurs,
basically. Whatever. Yeah. Velociraptors are like actually the small ones. It's some other kind that are a bit like Allosaurus or something. Anyways, he has seen those, so he technically could transform into them. But maybe narratively, since I don't think you have this whole campaign.
No, I think I did like once randomly, but
okay. I'll say narratively then, the ones that you saw in the Abyss were like tainted, and therefore you couldn't transform into them. So this is why you want to come to Chult, because they will be legit ones that aren't tainted by the evil of the Abyss, and then you can actually learn all the forms. Anyways,
pure unadulterated dinosaurs.
Yeah. These ones were made in a lab. Okay. So anyways, you guys get into the another 60 miles, which is the next 6 hours. And I think that puts you like into midday or something like that. What did we say? I think that was the same.
That makes sense.
Seeing that we're getting closer and that a new day has arrived, if Varel could use the robe's scrying capacity again on that paladin.
Oh, yeah. Let me roll for him. This time, he succeeds. He has like a plus a lot. He has like a plus 13 or something because you don't know him firsthand.
Okay. Gotcha.
So you try to, and you can't get a read on where he is or what he's up to. But you get the feeling that he is alive. You just fail to look at him.
Yeah. I reiterate the need to be cautious to the rest of the squad.
Yeah. And as you guys pull around the lip of this peninsula, you can sort of see further into the Isle of Cholt quite a little bit, and you're looking at a rather large naturally forming harbor far in the distance. I don't know if you could actually see it 100 miles, maybe not. Yeah, I'll say maybe not. Anyways, you're coming around the bend of this peninsula, and now you can see the jungle very close from the ship. It's only like 30 miles out, and you can see it, lush jungle with very steep, sort of mountainous hills that look very difficult to climb and traverse, and it is so dense that it looks like just a wall of trees as you get near.
Varel kind of says aloud, this landscape does not inspire much confidence. More to himself than to the rest, but...
Alright. Vosner ties two ends of a seatbelt together to secure him to the ship.
Nice. Nice Jurassic Park reference. That's a really good one. Yeah. Is Vosner, is Vosner Jeff Goldblum's character in this whole episode?
Yes.
I feel like that's the most fitting person for it.
Nature will just find a way.
That's right. Okay. I like it. And as you guys are coming into this bay, you also notice that there is like a very small island sort of off the side, and you check your map and you see that there is no island on your map. And as you are proceeding towards your destination, you get the feeling that the island is moving towards you.
Can I try to get a closer look at it to see if it's like...
Yeah, roll perception.
He rolls an 18.
Nice. You see him straining his eyes, and you see this island and are slightly concerned about it, and you empower him to see at a higher rate. And he rolled a +2. You got an 18 +0 +2, the 22. Yes, Isolde. Actually, didn't warn you about him. One of the Gallus or something warned Damon about them, and as soon as Damon sort of turns and recognizes that something's weird going on with the island, a massive head pulls itself out of the water about 30 feet from the ship, as Bob is trying to kind of steer around this island that seems to be coming in at them. And it blasts in this deep booming voice, intraconic, "Pay the fee."
I'm gonna look at Taryn. What did it say?
It wants us to pay a fee.
Bob Newman, you have had some encounter with dragon turtles before, and you know them to basically be almost like the road toll bandits of the ocean. But you also know that they can eat ships.
Oh, shit. Well, I ain't gonna let the Rosy Peach just go down because of this fucker. What's he want?
I'll ask him what's the fee.
You just shout out
Indraconic.
over the water,
Yeah, in Draconic.
and it takes a second, and back you hear 3,000.
I'll tell them he wants 3,000.
3,000 gold?
Do I know anything about dragon turtles?
You know, roll a history or nature. Yeah, you don't know a lot about dragon turtles. In fact, you're like, it doesn't look like a dragon at all.
I'm like debating whether or not my knife will work on it. Like, what is that? So I'll relay his 3,000. I'll double check to make sure. I'll ask gold? Question mark.
And you just hear, yes.
Then I'll be like, he wants 3,000 gold. I'll look at Bob and Damon and say, like, do you think we could take him?
From what Bob knows, his experience of it before, how worried would he be about this?
I don't think he's ever fought one, I'll say.
Yeah.
And this one is extraordinarily big. Like, huge. Gargantuan, if you will. It looks more menacing than the Kraken that you guys fought.
Yeah, well, that goddamn fucker looks like he could swallow this boat and all of us whole.
Damon turns to all of you and says, he should be put to rest.
I think we should leave it alone there, buddy. I'm also studying it to see if I can wild shape into it.
He is a... No, you cannot. You can't mimic that type of creature.
Damn it.
We have other important things to focus on, like the missing squad members. I'd rather just pay it and go.
That's wise.
Taryn looks a little disappointed as he puts his the dragon tooth dagger back in its sheath.
Vosner
She
pounds
will-
and turns away.
Bundle up some gold, and I guess chuck it off the side of the ship.
And you see, as you drop the bag of gold off the ship, the head says, farewell. And he dips down and goes down lower into the sea after the bag of gold.
We'll mark it off our thing. Dragon turtle toll.
I mean, for 3,000 gold, I could pretty much rebuild this boat, but you gotta be alive to rebuild a boat, right?
I'm more concerned about the fact that whatever supplies we use, potions and whatnot, we can't really replace those on the island as far as I know, and if we use all of our magic now, that is a day wasted as far as how far into the island we can go looking for our friends.
Right you are. Well, look, after that, you paying that fee. Ship is at your disposal whenever you want it. From now till either I or it break down, whichever comes first.
That is very
That's
kind
kind.
of you. Are you staying around? I know you said something about merch. Are you staying around the island for a while?
Well, we'll see what kind of music lovers they got there. If I appreciate it, I might stick around. If not, though, I'll probably go up to Calamsham for a little bit, see what I can do by way of trade, maybe do a little bit of gig work up there. And then, of course, I'm not going to be far away if I'm in Calamsham, so, you just give me a holler and I'll be right down.
I need to know how many times in the last 3 days he has played music for them.
Oh yeah. How often is Bob doing a concert?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that probably as the evening crawls on and everyone kind of, things settle down on the ship, he probably pulls that dilapidated old rocking chair back out of his cabin and sits down with a banjo and just kind of twangs away, maybe occasionally adding a few little lyrics. He's got a couple songs where he twangs on the banjo and he whistles alongside. Those are real good.
Does he have like a harmonica and like a little
Hey.
neck brace thing?
Roll
Oh,
a performance check for me. Let's see how good it is. We'll do it with advantage for the whole trip. So roll a second one if you want. Okay. Yeah, for a 22, Bob Newman's music inspires all of you. In fact, I'll say all of you have inspiration now, having successfully spent the whole trip along the boat. Very pleasant, very quick. It's the best travel you've ever had, and with fewer krakens than ever.
Awesome.
All right. And we'll say you guys get into the bay, and that is the evening. And then early in the morning, you guys arrive at the sort of like small dock that's been assembled for the Fort Balarian. And it's not like a great place for your ship to dock and stay. So I would imagine Bob sort of leaves you off best he can with a rowboat and then heads to the port, I suppose. If that's fine with you, Tim.
Yep, sounds good.
So Damon turns to Bob and says, "Thank you for the transport, Bob Newman."
Anytime, my friend. I hope to see you again.
Perhaps we will see you in port here in Zaru.
Well, I'll be there. Hopefully, drumming up some business, doing some gigs.
Do you have like t-shirts that you would want us to wear to like advertise your...
Oh, shit. Let's see, can he create that?
I'm gonna go to that real quick. I'll be right back while you figure that out.
So he can sing an object into existence, but it only lasts. I think we double check here. It only lasts for 5 hours. So like after 5 hours, the shirt would just dissipate off of me.
That's awesome.
It's a good idea though.
You
could tell he's like keeping it in mind, like, oh shit, t-shirts, yeah.
You should like work the dissolving of the shirt into the band name, so it's like a thing rather than like it's a feature, not a bug.
Ooh, yeah. Boy. I don't know, down the road here, if Taryn wants to give up adventuring, maybe Bob will hire his manager or something.
Could be a good gig, yeah. Bob
That's
Newman
awesome.
in the fading.
Just a decrepit old man playing banjo and a young dragonborn as his manager. That's beautiful. Like, that's got franchise written all over it.
It really does.
That's perfect.
I like to think the merch he has at this point is just like a couple of hats that he's just scrawled the word Bob across the front of them.
That seems right. Like he has CDs he's burned himself.
Yeah, there's no such thing as like a CD player, but he has CDs.
And like
Typical
the
art.
really thin like cases you get from like Target for like your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like Bob with Sharpie on top.
It's beautiful. I love it.
I am so ready for this.
I want to get into the bumper sticker game too.
Huge market.
Really is.
It's probably
Any fool will buy a bumper sticker.
It's probably the other reason all the sailing ships in port hate him, because he's constantly like slapping a bumper sticker that says Bob on the side of their ship.
And then charges them for it.
Oh well, yeah, it's merchandise.
Right. You can't just give it away.
It's the Banksy of Faerun. Soon it gets to the point where if your car gets tagged with the Bob bumper sticker, it increases in value by like $5,000.
Yeah, by the time you guys reach level 20, like Bob's gonna be like the premier musician / artist of all of Faerun.
Do you have a artificer multi-class into a bard?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he can literally sing an object into creation and then infuse that object, like magically tinker with it to give it something. So like, again, it only lasts for 5 hours, but like I love the idea that like in a dark spot he can sing a torch into existence and cast a spell on it so it casts a 5-foot radius of light.
That's amazing. Gonna make me a torch.
Gotta light it up good.
And then poosh, there it is. That's awesome.
He also hopefully never gets in melee range because he's got a really low AC, but if he does, he has what counts as a mace, but it's just his wrench that he beats.
That's awesome.
In our like next campaign arc where we kill the devil, I feel like the killing blow is just gonna be the wrench right to the head.
Flies out of nowhere.
We've been collecting as many books about Maine and written by Mainers as we possibly can since getting here. And I've been working my way through this one by this lady who she and her husband just lived like up in the north of Maine in the middle of the woods. You know, like the closest neighbors were miles and miles away and that kind of thing. But the last chapter I was reading, she was talking about the experience of watching when they would like take the lumber yards up in the north of Maine would take the logs and put them in the rivers and float them down river, and it was this whole thing. But like the way she describes the various people they met during that time, the people who like worked that job, who would use the boats to direct the logs, all that kind of stuff, they are like exactly like Bob Newman. Really excites me that like those sorts of people really exist somewhere out in the woods here.
All right, I'm back. What did I miss?
I'm so happy that Bob Newman is based off a real thing.
Yeah, well, weirdly, I actually read that chapter after creating Bob Newman. It's like, I don't know, he was in my subconscious somewhere. We got some plans for merch, and then probably down the road here, Taryn is going to sign up as Bob's manager because he's got much better ideas than Bob had. He just has been writing Bob on a lot of objects and trying to sell them.
Okay. I like it. Huh. Well, I guess I don't have a I don't have a map image for the shoreline as you approach. But yes, you take the little rowboat that Bob Newman gives you, and you guys head to the shore, where you find a path leading up to a fort that you can see in the distance that looks like that.
Is Bob with us?
No,
Or did he stay on the boat?
he stayed on the boat and went off to the port.
Wait, he got off the boat and went up to the fort?
Okay, there's a problem here. We're saying port versus fort, so it's a little confusing. There is a port, which is to the south, Port Nyanzaru, and then there is the fort that you guys are going to right now. Bob is going south, you guys are going north.
Do we hear any commotion or any noise or anything reminiscent of that violent battle I heard before?
Roll perception. Nope.
Okay.
You hear the like loud calls of beasts and creatures and insects and just nature in the forest. As you sort of step beyond the tree line, it becomes sort of this strange deafening thing where it's simultaneously very quiet as all the vegetation absorbs all of the outside sound. You can't hear the waves sort of on the beach anymore, and yet it is kind of loud as you hear distant monkey cries in the distance.
Yeah, Varel is visibly irritated by the noise and the sweltering weather.
Yeah, everybody roll a d20 for me.
D20.
Is it like anything in particular? Or?
Nope, just a d20. Varel, you just used your chronal thing that did a 15?
Yeah.
Okay. You're so paranoid. I
We
feel
need
like
a 12 and a 3.
it's not a save. I don't know if you could actually use it. Just roll the d20.
Whatever.
Whatever, forever.
There we go.
Nice. Wait, did you actually roll them? I got.
Oh, did I know?
Yeah, you got to roll.
All right. Roll d20.
Oh, I got Damon has to roll too. Okay.
This is how much damage we all take.
You all take 1,000 damage.
No.
Roll new characters. No, it's just the jungle consumes you. No, you guys are fine. You land on the port and or down at this sort of small dock and sort of head your way up. There's a sign that points up that just says Fort Beluarian as you guys climb up the hills. Anything you guys want to do or say or talk about?
Voss and I will just kind of ask. So do we know exactly where we're going? Are we just kind of...
Hopefully we'll learn at the fort. Taryn will just like set off in front of everybody, like let's do this type of thing.
Yeah, as you guys are walking through the jungle, you find yourselves sort of swatting at flies and bugs as they land on you and try to bite you. At one point, Bosner, you get bit, as well as Terran. Though Terran, yours isn't as bad as Bosner's, as your scales kind of prevent it from being vicious. But Bosner, you get bit by a massive fly at some point. And you guys climb up the mountain, toward the hill, and it is steep. Can everybody make a athletics roll for me?
Athletics.
I'm still feeling inspired from Bob's performance, so use that inspiration.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna redo that. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Athletics. Okay. All of you. Let's see. Oh,
Oh God, that's even worse.
well, it's basically having advantage, so you got a 12. Yeah, all of you hike up this hill with relatively no problems. At the top of the hill, Vosner and let's see, Vayrol and Damon are all a little bit winded. The rest of you feel fine. You guys have hiked many days in your journey, and it takes a few hours, but eventually you reach the clearing, and you see, as I showed you before, this Fort Balarian. As you approach, you see basically the same picture here. This is pretty accurate. In the distance, you can see some hills and mountains. And in addition to what you see here, you also see these giant banners with flaming fists on them, like a gauntlet that's on fire. As like the banners like drape down the side of the buildings. But the buildings themselves are sort of caught up in this moss and plants, as like plants seem to be growing out of every hole and like porous area of the castle, as though the jungle is constantly trying to reclaim this keep. And you guys stroll up, and a guard sort of holds up a hand, says, "What brings you to the fort?"
We're part of the Guild of Mossstone, and we're here to inquire after one of our missing squads.
He turns to the guard next to him and says, "Okay, yeah, that checks out. I saw that squad come through here about 2 weeks ago. You here to talk with the commander?"
Yes.
He says, "All right, one moment." Then he walks away, and leaving you with the other guard. And he sort of cracks open the door and walks in, and seems to go off to talk to the commander. You guys are just left standing there.
Nice.
So we're there alone now? Both of these guys are gone, or just
there's
one?
one other guard standing there.
What kind of vibe does this guy have? Is it like very serious around here, or are they kind of lax?
You get the vibe that it's fairly serious, but that this guy has a pretty easy job for the day. It's just to stand guard here.
I'll ask him about like what sorts of creatures do they see around here.
He sort of eyeballs you, says, "Oh, around here? Not a lot. Keep this place pretty safe, but you venture too far into the jungle, you're bound to find, well, basically anything you could imagine."
Did you guys clear this area, or was it like naturally less populated, so you chose to make your fort here?
Well, I wasn't here when this fort was established. He kind of like points to it. It's clearly like 100 years old. It's like, but it's safer than most places, other than the port. It's one of the few places that isn't, well, completely full of shit.
What do you mean by that?
You ever been out in the jungle here? You guys new?
Brand new. We've been up north
First
for
time.
last year.
He kind of gets a grin on his face. Says, "Welcome to hell, my friends."
Is it any less? Is it any worse than the abyss?
He sort of gives you a weird look. Now, how the hell would I know that something like that? How would anybody know something like that?
I guess if you've been to both places.
Well, thankfully I haven't. And as he's saying that, the other guard comes back and says, Commander Ninon will see you.
Thank you. And she'll kind of like give him a nod.
Yeah, and as you walk through these double doors, you go on to see a massive courtyard where there are a number of guys sort of lounging around in rather fine-looking plate armor, though you recognize it to be full plate. You also recognize it to be made of a sort of more dense and thinner material. You recognize this to be mithril plate, and you are noticing that many of them are wearing mithril plate with very thin clothing underneath it to sort of deal with the heat, and that the clothing is dyed a dark red, and that each one of them has a flaming fist emblem throughout all of their armor. Some of them wearing tabards, and some of them wearing some of it on their shields. And as you stroll through the courtyard, they all kind of like stop what they're doing and eye you up and then go about their business as you approach the main hall, where you walk through a set of double doors, guards on both sides, and find a man who looks like this for like the 5th time. He's standing over a table and sort of drawing a line on a map, and he looks up at you and says, hell, you look about the same as the last squad came through here. He says, Commander Ninon. And he puts out a hand.
Good to meet you. And she'll shake his hand. So you were familiar with them then, the other squad?
Yep, they came right through here.
Were they supposed to travel with you or your people, or they were doing their own thing?
Oh yeah, they came requesting a guide to get into the heart of Chult. Pretty deep mission. They were looking for some ruins. It's a pretty common thing around here. My guys usually go out with them for a small fee. They tend to come back, but not this time.
They were out of game. They were looking for the next staff, right?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
They were also looking for the portal location.
In the portal, okay. Taryn will ask, he'll introduce himself, and then he'll ask, which temple or which ruins were they going to?
He draws up a map, and if you guys are on the Faerun map, you can see he puts like an X sort of near. He says there's a lake named Lake Luo. It's a little bit west of that.
Lake Luo. Is that on the Chult map?
Yeah, it should be.
And there's a... Is that the big lake in the middle?
Yep.
Okay. And the camp? Alright.
Yeah, I put a little X on the screen where he marks it. It says they're headed for a set of ruins about over here.
And,
And you lost your guide as well.
I haven't heard from him. Again, it's not uncommon. Sometimes guys go missing, come back 3 or 4 months later. It's a big jungle.
Yes, and it seems that something about the jungle, magical interference, like scrying and things like that.
Oh yeah, just about every kind of interference. Magical, divine, or otherwise.
Mhm.
Men report seeing all sorts of stuff out there.
This
Like, what?
He sort of looks you over and he says, I don't have the time to go through every single thing, but let's just say just about everything you could imagine has been reported having been seen out in them jungles.
credibly?
Well, it's hard to know what's credible and what's not.
Is there are there certain concentrations of magical interference, or like an idea of like where certain types happen the most?
Oh, I'm just realizing you guys might be on the actual Chult map, not the Faerun Chult map. My bad. Here's the X. It's very small on this map, but
Okay, yeah.
there you go.
This is a really cool map, by the way, the Cholt map.
Yeah, it's from one of the source books.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could claim I made it, but it was too good not to use. Yeah, what were you asking, Vosner? Sorry.
If there are like certain like locations of different types of interference, or if the interference were stronger in certain areas.
He reflects on that for a bit, and then basically says, it's all a crapshoot out there. But we have marked higher levels of concentration of undead. And he points to the map. And what you guys can see on the map as these sort of light brown and dark brown areas, those are known to be high concentration undead zones.
Okay.
Have
least
the
reported.
undead been, I don't want to say, the primary menace of late? Have they been getting worse?
He says, hard to know worse. Undead out here is like the weather. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't.
Have you found
Seems like
anything?
quite
Have you found any effective strategies fighting the undead on Cholt?
He looks at you and says, can any of you smite him?
I can turn undead, but not smite them.
Well, that'll do too. Anything to send him running will help. Obliterate him, blow him up. Hell, just about everything works on him that works on humans. It's just, they keep coming back, you know?
Are they organized?
Well, that's a tricky kind of question. They are, smarter than some, but, doesn't seem like they've got any goal or intent.
Doesn't seem like there's someone in charge. It's just undead manifesting.
Well, there's different theories on that. Some think that there's somebody behind the veil pulling the strings, so to speak. But I haven't seen any order to their madness. To me, it just looks like a bunch of feral beasts running wild. And then he sort of looks to all of you and says, my only advice is if any of you fall, burn the body, destroy the bones.
Good to know. Shoot, I was gonna ask something, but I totally forgot.
What brings you here, Commander? And your men?
He smiles. Glorious purpose. That and gold. It's a profitable thing to venture down into the dungeons here. If you don't lose your head, you can come up with quite a find. They say some of these cities are older than the elves.
That's pretty old.
Is this fort older than elves?
Older than a few elves, but probably not many. It's only about 100 years old.
You're not here in
What
the
time?
service. Oh, God.
I was gonna say, what time of day is it?
I'd say it's like early afternoon. Oh, I forgot to say, Jesus, douchebags driving around loud cars. Anyways, I forgot to say that as you guys were walking around out in the courtyard, you felt like the sun beating down on you, and you noticed that all the paladins were kind of sitting in the shade strategically, because it's like 98 degrees here and like 70% humidity.
So you sent us to Florida?
Yeah, for real.
You
bastard.
bastard.
Hey, I sent you to like Antarctica for a while there.
It was nice.
It really was. I asked Commander Needon if he's here in the service of any government or monarch or region, or if he's here just for pillage and plunder.
Wait, are you asking him to pillage and plunder?
No, is he here for like did anyone send him here, or is he here just to get rich?
Oh, he says, I come from Baldur's Gate, way up north if you haven't been, and yeah, I'm here because it is my job to be here as commander of the Flaming Fists.
Could especially when he was at Candlekeep doing his research on the planes, does Vosner, can he recollect like a plane that would affect the island like this? I don't know. There's like maybe an undead plane. I
Roll a Arcana check for me, or a history.
Let's see what's better.
Or I'll even give you nature if you're proficient in that.
I am not proficient in any of those.
This is gonna be rough.
Yep. Let's go with this. Woo!
Yeah, you don't have any sense of like how this could be happening.
Okay.
They roll. I kind of was gonna give you more background information and didn't. So sorry about that. I'll try to write up something for next time. But you will know that having read a very comprehensive history of Chult, first of all, you would notice that when you read the book you read, which was like 10 years ago, written 10 years ago, this map that you actually saw a version of had like a dozen or so camps dotted out throughout the jungle, almost all the way over to where this red X was. So that he only showed you a map with 2 camps is a little bit strange. Secondly, you know that one of the proposed causes of these waves of undead is just like the almost like a nuclear fallout of magic, undead and necromantic magic that was cast at like beyond 9th level that basically shattered the weave in certain areas and left it disrupted permanently, such that it is like, in some ways, it like some theories are that like things just get converted to undead here by virtue of this like leftover magic, that there's nobody actually casting it.
Interesting.
Like a lingering raise dead spell that just moves through the air like wind and weather.
Yeah, if it's the fallout of high-level necromancy, then I'd be curious what sort of being could cause that. That doesn't seem spontaneous, but yeah.
I think you would have gleaned from the book that one of the theories is that it's basically like wizards who tried to do things hundreds of years ago and it's still left around.
Cool. I guess in view of the earlier maps having a lot of camps and now I only see 2, I would ask Ninon if I would ask him if any of the camps set up in the jungle have fallen recently, and to what.
He gives you a curious glance and says, the only camps we have right now are Vengeance and Righteous. They seem to be holding up fine last I checked. Righteous is a new one, though. Always vulnerable to the new camps.
So you're only now expanding into the jungles?
Well, I didn't quite say that. We've expanded before and met hard times. We're only now sort of regaining a foothold.
Could I see if he's being fully honest?
Yeah, roll insight. Yeah, he seems to be telling the truth.
Alright, I won't push.
He kind of looks all you up and says, so you're planning to go after him then? See what you can find.
That is the plan.
Well, you shouldn't go in there alone, that's for sure. It's an easy way to die is to go in there without knowledge of the land. I'll provide another assistant. You'll meet up with him in Port 9 Zaru. I imagine you're going back that way anyways.
I suppose we have to now.
Very well. He sort of like opens a book to see who he's got available. And he kind of like looks at you guys and says, any preferences? And laughs.
One who can smite.
He laughs and goes, yeah, alright. There's a fella named Atticus, Port 9 Zara. You'll find him there, I guess, I don't know where he'd be. One sec. Hold for consulting notes. Yeah, okay, sorry. It says you'll find him there at the local theater. He's kind of a drama buff.
Alright. Interesting that there is a theater on an island like this, but I suppose everyone needs some time for entertainment.
Oh, the port's got just about everything. They got theater, they got live music, it's a big scene there. They've got dinosaur racing. It's a whole thing. It's the oldest city on this island, actually.
How interesting.
Yeah, that it hasn't been ravaged by the jungle itself is kind of a miracle, but hey, I mean, hard to complain. It's a nice place. We get all of our supplies through there, so happy it's there.
Is the trek that way, suppose, particularly safe because it is well trafficked?
He laughs at that. I figure I should just tell you now. No trek on this island is safe. Hell, even the trek up here from the shore that you just went on probably could have been deadly if you'd been unlucky enough.
To know.
Yeah. Don't ever let your guard down. Alright, well, I gonna take the rest of the day to sit inside until the sun goes over. If you need anything from me, you let me know.
Will do. And, I assume it is alright if we run into some trouble that I could send you a message?
Oh, sure, no problem. I might be busy myself. Occasionally go out on an excursion or two. But I'll be happy to answer it if the message makes it through.
Well, thank you. Perhaps we will see you again soon. She'll just kind of like bow her head a little bit, respectfully, and back up.
Yeah. And you guys walk out, and you're back into this courtyard. Again, you see just a courtyard full of men wearing these, I guess men and women wearing these flaming fist tabards and sort of mithril plate armor, shields, all sort of sitting in strategic locations to avoid the sun.
Do we know anything about the Flaming Fists? Have we been told about them, this faction?
You read about them in your book. What is it you want to know about them?
I guess if they had, I hate saying it, if they had like a mission statement, what would their mission statement be? Like, we exist in order to...
Yeah, there probably is an official one, I could look it up, but it's basically to rid the world of undead. And I mean, they're sort of a mix between a holy mission to bring civilization to the uncivilized places of the world. But it's also a mix between that and sort of protecting the average folk from the monstrosities of uncivilized nature. Plus, they're clearly like a mercantile band there to loot these ancient places and make a profit off of it.
Okay.
It's sort of like Stan. It's sort of like they all have an oath of conquest, but with a bent of like taking over things to rid them of their chaotic nature. It's like bringing law and order by force.
Got it.
And they want to build synergy and yeah. Perfect. They think outside of the box, which is really important. Thanks for that.
What?
the flaming fist. So.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, makes a little more sense now. Okay. So, what are you guys doing?
Is it still afternoon?
Yeah.
Well, we're fully supplied. If we could make progress towards the port, suppose we should see how we'd like to get some 60 miles to the south.
Sure.
It looks like there's like water in between there. It looks like we would have to cut over into the undead and around to get to the port.
I'll just say that there's a bridge there,
Okay.
just to spare you, because I didn't intend for it to be like a super long, like insanely long trip.
So before we leave, of course, Vosner wants to find a tree.
Okay.
But at the same time, he'll offer, well, if we want to avoid some unpleasant things, I do have a way that we can get there rather quickly.
What is it?
Well, I essentially can have us all fly there, and it won't be with the eagles. Yeah.
Taryn just like stares at him like, please expand.
Yeah. There you go. I can essentially make us be like clouds, and we can walk on the air. And we can travel, essentially, if we run there, 60 feet per round for 8 hours. So we can fly there.
Is there not a risk of like us being blown away or something like that?
Could we also message Bob and have him pick us up? I can't imagine he's gotten that far.
You guys hiked for like half a day, so
Oh, never mind. He's gone.
6 hours. He's probably almost already to the port.
Catch that.
We could probably beat him to the port. It is higher level magic, but since it's already half the day, I could see this as being worth it.
Sounds good to me.
It's worth a try, I suppose.
Yeah.
Awesome. So first, John, is there a tree?
Yeah, so I wanted to mention this. So, the way your ability works, at least the transport via plants, as we put it in this game, is that it's basically like teleportation circles, which means you have to find the circle to attune to, basically. And in order to find that circle here, you would have to find the, based on the particular forest, the like oldest like sort of like mother tree of the forest. And I'll say that one thing that this ability gives you is that you can go out and touch a tree and it will indicate to you through the root system how far away this mother tree is, so that you could like know where to go to attune to it. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. It's a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm making it a little bit less like you have to walk around until you find it. At least now you have a connection to it. And when you touch the tree nearby and feel all of the energy like transporting through the roots all the way back through this advanced network of complex vegetation, you feel yourself being transported through this root network all the way across the island, all the way near where that X is, at the center of the island, not even that far from it, about, is it 300 miles away? I can't even see it. Yeah, about 300 miles away, you feel the pull of this ancient mother tree, near the heart of the jungle of Chult. And at the same time, you also feel like an emotional connection to the forest of Chult. And it feels furious, like an angry being that is wrathfully consuming and destroying everything it can. It's not like nature that you normally encounter, which is like intent on pursuing a harmonious relationship to all of the living beings. You get the feeling that this jungle is hungry and wants to consume everything it can and destroy everything that isn't it.
Is it sort of like a vengeful thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
Well,
scorned and now
I think it's roll insight for me.
insight? Okay.
Mm-hmm. You don't get the feel that it's vengeance for being wronged. You get the feeling that this forest is in some ways tainted by just a dark feeling of hunger.
Ooh, this. So I'll say to the rest of everyone, I know where our large teleportation tree is. Probably close to where we need to go. But there's something wrong with this forest. The nature here has been forcefully changed. I think it's something to do with what the undead and everything else that's weird around here.
It's
There is a-
sad.
There's a theory that some foolish old wizards were fooling around with high-level necromancy and made a mistake. I wonder if the jungle is reeling from that mistake.
Would not surprise me.
What kind of high-level necromancy?
Couldn't find anything terribly specific. Just the sort that might lead to something like vast amounts of undead roaming the surface.
Like, how long ago? Do you know?
John, do I know?
On the order of hundreds of years.
There you go. Centuries.
Interesting. I was just curious, based on whether or not some of those wizards might still be here.
Some wizards live for quite a while.
Yeah, she'll kind of smile at him about that. Mr. High Elf.
Shall we rest here for the evening, or make way to the port?
I think we should try to get to the port if we can.
Yeah, if we can make it with Vosner's spell, we should just go for it tonight. Today.
To the
Sounds
ruins?
like No, to the port.
Oh,
Sounds like a comfortable place. We can meet up with Atticus and maybe talk about what's to come.
Okay. Well, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
There you go. Hope we don't find something that we have to fight.
Okay. So the logistics of this spell are that he casts it, and then for an 8-hour window, you guys can willfully transform in and out of this version of yourself, where you're not like a gas. You're like a almost like shimmery, almost ethereal-looking, like translucent version of yourself that is not slowed down very much, in that you can move at a flying speed of 300 feet per round. The way this is going to work for our campaign is that basically that means you can move 300 feet around, I think, is like 30 miles per hour. So you could basically fly straight to Port Nyanzaru in 2 hours. Though I will say there are a few caveats. So first of all, depending on what you fly through, if you get jumped by something or whatever, it still takes a minute for you to transform out of this form. So it is potentially dangerous to fly, say, into the lair of a Beatrice or something in a windwalk, because then for the first minute you guys wouldn't be able to do anything as you are incapacitated while you're trying to revert. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Vosner casts this spell. All of you feel light, and after a minute of converting, you guys find yourselves sort of airy and light, floating through the air, able to will yourself in directions that you choose. Damon says, "I feel funny."
Yeah, I'm so curious
this
as to
is-
what this feels like.
Basically just feels like you are completely light and can sort of just choose a direction and fly that way. I'll say that the acceleration isn't instantaneous. You have to sort of like will yourself that direction, and then you begin to move very, very quickly. While you're in this form, I don't know if you can talk. Let me see.
I don't.
You're just
It didn't
a
say
gaseous
anything.
form. I'll say that you guys
I mean,
can
it's-
see each other, like gassy, like kind of white, translucent versions of each other, and all your gear is transferred as well. So I'll say you guys can see each other, but you cannot communicate. You don't have vocal cords right now.
Cool. I will float sort of more straight up than anything else for a little bit, and then start moving over. I'm kind of hoping that it gives me a view of the island a little bit.
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
just follow.
Yeah. And Damon follows as well. So there's like a little train of ethereal smoke people flying up high into the air. And how high are you going up?
I don't know, like how high would I need to go to be able to peek over where some of these undead spots are?
Pretty high, since they are
In the trees?
70 miles away. And as you fly up, you basically emerge from the canopy and then just see like a sea of green treetops. Like there's no indication of anything except for just jungle.
Pretty. She won't fly too high up then, probably just high enough that people wouldn't be able to interfere with them. And then just head straight to the port.
Okay. And everybody follows?
Yep.
Very cool. Everybody roll a d20 for me. Nice.
Nailed it.
Woo!
Okay. Very nice. You guys are flying through the air at maximum speed, and as you do, you find yourself flying through clouds of insects, occasionally accidentally running into a bird because you're flying at such speeds that it's hard to navigate and move around quickly. So you're like hurtling forward, unable to quickly maneuver, and creatures that are moving slower have trouble getting out of the way. We'll say Damon hits a bird at full speed and takes a point of bludgeoning damage, splattering this giant mythical bird into bloody pieces as he flies through the air. coating his ethereal form in feathers before they all sort of trail off, whipped off by the wind. Isolde, make a Constitution saving throw. Okay. Vosner, make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh god.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Give me a moment.
We lost Fosner, guys. We lost
No,
Fosner,
no.
guys. We lost
No,
Fosner,
no.
guys.
Just look to kill me off. I knew it, guys. My next character is a dragonborn. He was raised by bards.
Okay. Fosner, roll me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Roll me a d12.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. So you guys fly through the air, and just like blitz speed over the jungle, and you're just zooming. You see all these creatures, but only for a second. Just glimpsing down at them, as you fly towards the port, and it becomes very clear to you that the port is getting near, and you can see the city gates. What do you do?
Land early.
Yeah, land on the road once we can see it.
Okay. You guys land outside of the city gates of Port Ninezaru and take your time to slowly materialize into your standard form after 2 hours. So it is now the evening, and you guys are outside of the city. As you come to material form, you look up and notice that Vosner looks a little bit strange.
You okay, Val?
Hold on, sorry, I just lost the feed.
Kinda strange.
He is covered in black pockmarks all over his face. And Vosner, you feel very, very sick. In fact, you feel incredibly dehydrated and take 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Do a medicine check on him?
Yeah. He is suffering from something, but you don't know what it is. Some disease.
I will try to cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Okay. And as you do, the black pockmarks on his skin begin to clear up almost instantaneously, and his fever subsides, and he feels quite a bit better, but he still has 1 point of exhaustion because of it. That doesn't get cured.
I'll ask him, like, did something happen on the flight?
And you sort of ask that, but also realize that all of you are covered in squished and swatted bugs as you have flown through the air at a really fast speed. And Damon points out, as he is covered in bloody bird bits and feathers, and points out to all of you, Perhaps he was stung by an insect.
It wouldn't. Seems to make sense, though. You probably should fly a little higher the next time. But
sorry.
I don't know. I wonder in town if there's maybe some sort of guide or herbalist that I can talk to, get a lay of the land. But maybe for tomorrow.
Vosner, from your knowledge of nature, you would know that you and Isolde both have the capacity to cure basically any and all diseases that are known, at least as far as you're aware, and that's something well within your guys' abilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, with greater restoration or lesser restoration, or both of them.
And you arrive at Port Nyanzaru.
Head in.
And you
Busy picking bugs off.
And let me give you the map. Here's it from the perspective of the bay, as you would come in that way. It is a dense tropical city with a number of kind of not poorly constructed, but maybe weathered houses. Seems like they've gone through quite a few tropical storms and otherwise. And it is very busy. In fact, one of the main drags currently has a large crowd sort of cheering on both sides of it, as there appears to be some sort of public event going on.
Do we hear banjo music wafting through the vent?
Make a perception roll. Nope.
No banjo.
No banjo.
Maybe it is one of those dinosaur races that the captain was talking about.
And as soon as Isolde mentions that, you see these two people bounding down the street, riding on the backs of dinosaurs.
That's
as
amazing.
The rest of the city cheers on. And Gert,
Terrifying.
you now know how to make a Triceratops. I don't know what CR that is, but...
Yes. Guys, it's possible. And he thinks back to the plans that we had to put a turret on me and ride around during battle.
Oh, yeah. You guys wanted a ballista.
Yes.
If only you'd
A
not let Missile
magical
die.
wearing ballista.
Only
Don't
as
worry,
a-
we have another artificer.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
As long as you have another artificer, you should be fine.
Apparently there are a dime a dozen this campaign.
Yeah, it's super easy to get them, and they if you keep them alive, they'll never leave you.
What do you mean let Missile die?
3 people went before Missile's turn and could have healed him, and they didn't. And then he critical failed the death save and died. You don't remember that? I feel like you should remember that of all
I
people.
guess I suppressed that memory.
Suppressed the life cleric, the druid, and some other person with a health potion, all saying, "You'll be alright."
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He's not gonna roll less than a 10.
That's right. Well, you had only failed 1, so critically failing was the only way that you could have died. And they all wanted to do something with their turn.
That's fair.
Heal, they're stupid.
95% chance they made the right call. Alright,
Yeah.
alright.
You say that now, but you also know the next turn everyone would have been like, it's a coin flip.
Still 50% chance.
Right. What's the chance of him rolling under
Fine.
11 twice in a row?
Enough.
Dark. I feel for you, Dylan. Though I also did play the monster that killed you, so I guess.
You felt him as you crunched his bones.
I'm having a hard time with this conversation.
So you see these dinosaurs running down the street, and there is a roaring crowd, and you get your bearings about you and see that there is a sign that points to the theater. There's also a sign that points to the docks, and there's a sign that points, anywhere else in the city that you'd want to go. You find like a "You Are Here" map.
Does anyone have any ideas other than going straight to find Atticus?
We should probably find an inn for the night as well.
That is true. I will look on the map for the category inn.
Yeah. You find Motel 6.
Nice.
No. Actually didn't have a name for an inn here. Let's see. The Nyanzaru Inn. Wow, yeah. That's good.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, you find the Naranzaru Inn, the original, established when the city was established. In fact, some say that the port was named after the inn. Ye old Naranzaru Inn. That's right. And as you approach the inn, you realize that there's like a sign outside that says like established whatever, and it's 1 year before Port Nyanzaru was officially established. So they're clearly making that claim on the front of their sign. And yeah.
Guess we'll pop in there and see about reserving a room.
Yeah.
Or a series of rooms.
An old lady pops out and says, "Hello."
Hello, have availability for, visitors?
Oh, of course. It's, what kind of room do you want? She kind of looks at you and you look all fancy.
And
Just-
covered in dead bugs.
Yeah. Well, you wash those off, I think.
Just your standard rooms.
Okay,
Whatever
that'll
you have
be
available.
10 gold. And she kind of like, with your passive insight, you can tell that she's like inflating these costs because you look rich.
Izzy will pay her anyway.
Okay. And yeah, you get yourself a room at Ye Old Naranzaru Inn.
Perfect.
She said, "This inn is older than the port itself." And she's like helping you up to your room and giving you a key. And she
That
gives you
is
the whole bit.
remarkable. Is there anything that you would recommend us to check out while we are in town?
Well, the theater's known for being quite nice, but also the dino races, if you're into that kind of thing. I think it's cruel, but, brings a lot of money to the town.
Sure. It looked a bit frightening, but maybe the theater.
Sure. There's a play tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's good.
Excellent. Yeah, so, I guess we'll make sure our things are secure and go to the theater. Unless anyone has any other ideas.
Veryl's not thrilled to go back out into the city. He finds it deeply uncomfortable, but he wants to meet Atticus before we get too far into this.
Sure. Okay, and as you guys are heading out into the city, you look into the port and see, Tim, you called it the Clunker before, but now it's called what? You changed the name?
there we go. Clunker was just kind of his, I think, sort of like nickname for it. The actual like old plate on the back of it that is barely legible anymore says the Rosy Peach.
The
But
rosy.
he usually calls it the Clunker.
Okay. So you see like a ways out in the water, the Rosy Peach. You guys beat him there.
Nice. I will tell the lady, if you see an old man that happens by, with a mechanical dog, would you let him know that we're at the theater?
Oh, sure. That's a curious description. I'm excited to see it.
She kind of like turns to the others and says, I don't really know if he will want to hang out with us, but I suppose there is no harm in seeing if he does.
Okay. So you guys head to the theater, and the admission is 1 gold piece per person.
This town is so expensive.
And then you hear him say like, "You guys here to see the play? It already started like an hour ago, but you're free to go in if you want to pay the full rate." He stands there. Hello? You guys,
How much loss is left in the play?
Oh, well, we got an intermission here in about 10 minutes, and then another hour or so.
I'm fine with joining halfway through.
Okay. So you guys pay a gold each and walk in, and the play is like full going. It's clearly sort of reaching some sort of major moment in the story. There's a lot of drama on the stage. People dressed in sort of some sort of simplistic costumes, but then also you notice that through the use of magic and disguise self, there's some pretty interesting and profound looking wardrobes and outfits, and they are using all sorts of small cantrip-like magic to make interesting sound effects happen and music play, and it is actually quite a production. Those who are interested in the arts will have thoroughly enjoyed this. I think Damon sits for the whole thing and is rather confused by it, because he doesn't he has never like read a novel or seen a play, but he sits quietly for the whole time. And yeah, what do you guys do for the play? What's Fosner look like at a play? Or is he just looking for the guy?
At a play, he looks confused and very much out of place. Like he's got like twigs and stuff in his hair. No decorum for like whatever the culture is. But he's sort of like a 5-year-old that you've taken to the play for the first time, and is just thoroughly amused.
Okay. What is Taryn like at the play?
Terrence like took him a little bit to figure out what was happening, but then he got kind of into it.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's also kind of like stays near the back, so his little flurry of snow doesn't get in anybody's view.
What's Meryl doing?
Not really watching the play, scanning the crowd to see if there's anyone like, I know we didn't get a description of Atticus, but maybe a figure sitting alone who looks like he could handle himself in the jungle.
Yeah. Okay, roll a perception roll for me. I'm gonna say I'd give you disadvantage, but you have dark vision. Yeah, with a perception roll of 20. Tim, would you describe your character?
Yeah, you notice a guy who is clearly not part of just like the average civilian populace. In part because he's wearing still full armor, and there's a shield that you recognize having the flaming fist symbol on it, sort of leaned up against him on the bench. Um, and he is wearing armor that looks like it is remarkable high-priced armor, but also looks like it was then taken and dragged through like mud and brambles. Like it looks like it's seen better days. It's got dents on it and scrapes all over it. The man himself is like relatively tall, about 6 foot. Looks like he could probably use a shower. He's got red hair and a red sort of long mustache-ish goatee kind of thing, all of which are like a little bit greasy. And his skin is pale white, and he has frosty blue eyes. And with probably that high of a perception roll, upon looking at him, you will also notice that he has what appears to be a pretty wickedly gnarly scar across the front of his throat.
Very cool.
Yes.
If I could I cast clairvoyance to see if I could place a little auditory sensor to see if he's having a conversation, or is he sitting alone?
Yeah, you could. I mean, he's by himself, right?
Yeah, he's sitting alone and is just in rapt attention to the play.
Okay. Seeing that, then I won't bother. But having spotted him, I'll keep my eyes on him and see what the rest of the squad's up to.
And John, not to be overly mysterious, but I don't know how you want to handle the thing with Dylan either for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Dylan does have the ability to see invisible things as a product of his robe. So what does Dylan see? And if you want to submit it to just him, you could, or if you wanted to share it with the group and have everybody RP it accordingly, that's fine.
I'll submit it just to Dylan, and I'll leave it up to Dylan.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Easy enough to send
Intrigue.
it to Dylan?
Discord or text, or yeah, it's all good.
Okay. What's Isolde doing at the play?
Oh, she is watching this play.
Okay.
She's like 100% invested.
In the play, it's actually a play of like a nautical adventure, and a tentacle comes out of the water and slays the person on the stage, and it's the hero of the story, and the whole crowd begins to shout out in shock, and everybody is very sad as the first act ends with the hero being dragged under the water by a kraken.
I'm immediately going to make sure Damon doesn't do anything.
Damon reaches, or begins to extend his sword out of his hand, mistaking the play for reality.
That's what she was afraid of. 'Tis fiction, 'tis alright.
I would have slayed that kraken.
I've heard you already did slay the main one that was in the bay, so...
There are
at least
many
these people
more.
don't have... Yeah, I guess that's true. But at least people are being made aware through this play, of the very real dangers of krakens.
Knowing is half the battle.
That's right. But when it's intermission, she's gonna, when the house lights go up, try to see if she can spot someone from the order.
Yeah, roll
That looks
perception
like a
with
guide.
disadvantage. Well, I guess when the lights go up, it can be regular. It's fine. Yep, you also see him and notice that Beryl has seen him as well.
Should we go introduce ourselves? Say that to Beryl.
He seems to have his attention set on the play. Perhaps we should wait until the next intermission or the end of the play? Or at least we could get close.
So
it is
intermission
intermission.
now.
Oh, it is currently intermission?
Yep.
Okay. Then, by all means, yeah.
Yeah, she'll stand up and kind of make her way down towards where he's sitting.
He looks up from staring straight ahead at the stage. Even at intermission, it seems like he's just sort of staring straight ahead. But as you approach, he looks up and in a sort of strained voice says, "Brothers, sisters, may I help you?"
Oh, so sorry to bother you. Are you Atticus?
That depends. Who's asking?
Oh, we are Bear Squad from Mustone. We were sent here. You were supposed to be our guide to go into the island in the morning.
Ah, yes. I did receive word. Welcome to Port Narinzaru.
Thank you. Is he like an older guy? Is there I mean, I would assume the scar probably explains why his voice sounds like that.
Yeah, he's not old. Like, 30s probably, looks like.
This is what he looks like for all of your interest.
Whoa.
Ooh, gnarly.
Assuming that's still the art you wanted to...
Yeah,
That's the one.
she'll just like bow her head a little bit in respect.
What is
My
it
name
that you
is-
seek in the wilderness?
We are looking for a number of things, really. But mainly we are looking to see if we could find some friends of ours that have gone missing while on a mission from our guild.
Yes, I recall hearing tell of them as they came through.
Yes, they were, I guess, headed towards some ruins on the inter portion of the island. So, I mean, we can talk about all of that after the play. I just wanted to come and say hello, and my name is Isolde, and introduce you to my companions, and maybe we can meet up after the show for a drink.
It would be my honor.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Will
and
you
she'll...
stay for the second half?
Of course, yes. We're going to go back to our seats back up there, so we don't view or anything. You know, we don't fit in so well. She'll kind of look at Terran's little snowstorm.
As you wish, sister.
Also, what kind of snacks do we have at this play? Or in the...
Yeah, for like a way overpriced. It's like 2 gold for like a bucket of corn. It's not popcorn, it's just corn.
Oh, I was gonna say if there's popcorn, Wagner wants to get the stickiest caramel corn that he could find.
Okay. You find like honey corn. That's pretty good.
Alright. I spend 6 gold, and me and Pago go to town.
Yeah. You guys just pound warm honey corn.
Actually, sounds really good. But yeah,
I don't think
he's
it'd be
just
bad.
coated. Yeah, he's just coated in honey, and he looks like a really excited, like 5-year-old. Like this is the first time he's been out.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's smacking as Zilda comes back. Did we meet our guy?
Yes. Yes, he's a very light man. A bit rough. I think he's like really seen some shit.
Well, I'm sure we could trade stories. You want some? You want some corn? It's actually really good here.
No, that does not look so sanitary.
Oh, you're really missing out. And Paco is just like completely sticky, like he's rolled in it somehow.
Yeah.
But he offers you a couple kernels. He holds them up.
Rejected.
She's still trying to give me honeycorn?
Yeah, Paco was.
Paco.
Oh, Paco. Yeah, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to ignore Paco.
Poor Paco.
Cold. All right.
Well, when he becomes the big bad, he's gonna remember him.
I hope he does.
Anybody want to do anything else before the play kicks up again? Okay, so the play starts up in Act 2. The hero is pulled out of the water and brought back to life, and then he and all of his heroic friends defeat the Kraken in battle, and it's a happy story. It's a real twist there in the middle.
Are you guys like still watching Atticus, or are you pretty much just taking in the play?
Izzy's watching him.
Taryn went in knowing he needed to look for Atticus and like got sucked into the play fairly quickly and has totally lost all thought of Atticus.
Nice. So those of you who are watching him will notice that while he never takes his eyes off what's happening on the stage, he also doesn't like applaud when everyone else like applauds. So like at the end he'll applaud, but you know, when like the rest of the crowd is getting hyped about the hero coming back to life and that kind of stuff, he just sits stock still and watches. He's not like giving in to any of the whims of the crowd. And even at the end, his applause is very sort of muted, kind of almost like a polite golf clap.
Is he like detached from it, or is he like like watching? Like he's very critical of it and like
Probably
taking
from the back, looking at him from behind, you really can't tell. You just notice that as the rest of the crowd becomes increasingly animated from what's like a really good production, he's just not moving at all.
And the performers take their bow at the end, and the lights come up. Somebody guess like the floating light spell or something, and it gets bright in there, and the people start to exit.
Atticus will stand and with like a almost imperceptible limp, like it doesn't really hold him back, but you can tell like there's old hurts that will never entirely heal. He kind of strolls back to you all and says, "Brothers and sisters, I believe there was mention of a drink."
Yes, do you know of a particularly good place?
There are several, though the Nyanzaru Inn is perhaps among the best.
It is where we are staying, so that makes things easy and efficient.
indeed. Shall we go?
Sure. She's like very wary of him and is trying to suss up, like calculating the limp and the scars and the state of him and the state of what he's wearing. Like,
insight him.
just, yeah. I think the main thought on her mind is she wants to know whether or not this guy has been here since he was like 18.
What does she see, Tin?
She sees a man in his 30s who feels like he's in his 60s, who cannot remember a time when he wasn't on this island.
Yeah, that checks out. She will buy the first round of drinks when they get there.
Yeah. You can tell that there's a certain amount of familiarity between him and the lady that you met there before. Like, he clearly is a man about town. He's been there quite a bit.
As you come in, the old lady says, "Never saw a man with a metal dog. Sorry about that."
Oh, it is alright. I wasn't sure if you would come anyway, but I figured I would let you know.
Of course.
Could we get a round of drinks then for me and my friends?
Yep, that'll be 20 gold.
She like kind of narrows her eyes a little bit.
2 gold.
That's what I thought. Sorry, I thought I heard you wrong. And she'll put the gold on the counter.
She goes and gets drinks. You already know, though, that 2 gold is already kind of overpriced.
Yeah.
How many drinks did Atticus order?
At this point, he hasn't ordered any. He's just taking what's given to him.
Okay. So,
Go ahead.
assuming he's only had like one mug handed to him, Varel holding his as well, would say, "Just one drink for you."
Yes, I do not drink a great deal. Far too many dangers for one to be inebriated.
Fair enough. Varel will glare at him rudely, but not press it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to take notice, like, the way, I don't know, like, the way someone who fights house fires wouldn't take notice of, like, a birthday candle. Like, he's not really super concerned with you glaring at him, considering what he's seen so far in his life.
That's fair, yeah.
So,
record,
brothers and
how many-
sisters.
Oh, go ahead.
For the record, how many beers has Varel actually drank to completion? Perceptibly.
A non-whole number.
Nice.
Gotcha. Sorry, go ahead.
Damon interrupts you when you say brothers and sisters. He says, "Oh, we are not related."
There's a sort of smirk crosses Atticus's face. He says,
Yes, merely a figure of speech to describe the fact that we are all brothers and sisters in the great civilization that this world is.
He looks puzzled.
That's
Now,
an interesting sort of vantage point, I assume. Sorry, very religious individual then.
yes, I suppose I am. Although, I am not so much in the employ of any particular deity as I am in the employ of those who spread civilization to the areas of darkness around the world.
Interesting.
What is your civilization?
Why, the Flaming Fist, of course.
How are they unique?
I like to think they are not unique, save perhaps in their ability and willingness to venture into the darkness to bring the light.
And so the light for you is civilization.
The light for us all is civilization.
Is there a particular consequence to those who resist the influence of the fist?
It depends on what you mean by the word resist. Violence will be met with violence.
I got you. What if it's those who just don't want to adopt those certain things and wish just to live alone according to their own way?
We do not have an issue with people living alone, but we stand against all forms of barbarism. Those who wish to ignore our teachings are gently educated.
Sort of like early childhood education. You like round up all the native kids and, you know, teach them civilization.
The Fist does indeed have some education programs for natives, but truthfully, that is not my area of expertise. I am well versed in this island, perhaps more so than even many of my fellow Flaming Fist members. So I often lead groups into the more dangerous parts of the island. I assume this is why I have been given charge of you, and perhaps we should turn to specifics of what it is that you expect of me.
Beyond bringing the light into the darkness, you mean?
Is that your expectation of me?
We are really just hoping that you can provide us an extra bit of safety, I suppose, as well as expertise of the island. And, I guess make sure that our mission is successful as much as that is within your control.
Yes, safety is in short supply in Trult, but I will, of course, do what I can. I have, as I mentioned before, some considerable knowledge of the island so far as that is possible, and I am aware of many of the dangers and pitfalls that might befall us.
Can you get us to
What?
Lake Luo?
I would like to stop short of making any promises. The island is a strange place, but I have been there before and do believe I could get you there again.
Perhaps it would be better than to go to Lake Luo to see if we can retrace the path of the last group, because we don't know if they actually made it there.
that was their destination as well, I take it.
Yeah.
Any adventuring party leaving Port Nyanzaru would likely stop through Camp Righteous and Camp Vengeance on their way. We would probably do well to do the same.
Alright. So what is the pathway then? We would trek down into the jungle and then try to, cut inward from there? We have that little map, right?
Yeah, the Chultna.
Yeah, she'll take the map out and kind of put it on the bar.
In very broad terms, yes. But you must realize that the island of Chult has oddities that are difficult to describe and which involve lost time sped up, time shifted, things from other times. These bubbles of disturbance are around the island, and they create a somewhat more difficult path that we must follow.
Zelda looks very disturbed. I don't understand what you mean by bubbles of time. And she'll kind of look over at Varel. You?
Yeah, Varel's equally puzzled.
From your research, this is something I would have sent you, so sorry I didn't send you this, but from your research, you would have accounts of people who ventured into the jungle and hit one of these pockets and left that pocket 100 years in the future.
Like having aged 100 years, or
No,
when they emerged, it was...
when they emerged, realized that it had been reported that they'd been lost for 100 years.
Wow.
That not only can you get lost in geometrical space here, but you can get lost in time here.
Oh, that's nuts.
Or get hurled into the past.
Or meet people from 100 years in the future or the past.
Correct.
Varel relay this to us?
Yeah, I guess I would I don't know, the way that I understand it is it tosses you to and fro through time. Yeah.
That's like the most complicated version of it that he thinks we're able to handle.
Varel's like, sometimes you go wee through time. Yeah.
But I'm smiling and indifferent. Yeah, technically that's what you do.
That's pretty frightening. And there's no way to avoid them? Like, are there signs that you are approaching one of these limits, or ways to guard yourself against them?
There are established, I hesitate to call them safe routes, but waypoints we might consider using that are generally seem to be free of these time bubbles. That being said, there are no assurances on the island of Chult.
Have you stumbled into one of these time bubbles before?
I am fortunate to have avoided them thus far.
Fortunate indeed. Do you think they have anything to do with the roaming swarms of undead?
Unfortunately, my distaste and hatred towards the undead is not accompanied by a great deal of knowledge about their existence or creation, so I cannot say. I must be clear with you all that truth is unlike anything you have ever faced before. I say that confidently, not even knowing your history. Truth is unique, and there is, of course, beauty in its uniqueness, but also remarkable danger. Be sure that this is a trip you really want to make, rather than simply going home.
I'm gonna kind of look around, like just up and down the bar, and just try to gauge whether or not anyone else in the squad momentarily thinks about going home.
Taryn
Not
is
not
like
one bit.
mostly unimpressed.
Vosner's, yeah, he's actually curious to see if this holds a candle to the abyss.
So
Leaving for Varel would mean defying the orders of his god, so he's not going anywhere.
So is Terran sitting there smugly then?
No, he's just not. He's not like smug, but he's like, unfazed, I guess. Like, on the one hand, yeah, sure, this is probably bad, but on the other hand, we just killed an ancient dragon. So like, he's not like, oh, I'm sure this will be a walk in the park, but it may or may not be on his face that he thinks Cholt might be getting overrated.
Fair enough.
So she'll just turn to Atticus and say, "Well, we take the threats of this island very seriously, but I don't think that any of us would want to go back on the reason that we've come here."
For like a split second, you see a sort of look of something sort of between disappointment and resignation flash across his face. And then it's replaced by just his sort of normal stoic look.
Very well. Are you prepared in terms of provisions?
Believe we need food.
You guys can buy rations in Port Ainzaru, as many as you need. They will work just fine. You guys would know that given the difficulty of traversing the terrain in the jungle, your maximum speed is basically it's going to take 10 days of travel to get to Camp Righteous on foot.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. We're gonna be here a while.
Possibly hundreds of years. Who knows?
Right. Just looped in. Time might make us go wee.
Damon chimes in, I would not like to go. We.
Checks out.
Varel face palms. Shall we start with 10 days of rations then and hope to resupply at Camp Righteous?
Maybe 12. Just give us a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, perhaps Camp Righteous isn't there any longer.
Fine.
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, you see a pretty like strange look that's difficult to read kind of cross Atticus's face when you say that out loud. But again, it's pretty quickly replaced, and then he says,
There is, of course, always that possibility. Also, it should be said that while Camp Vengeance is perhaps relatively well stocked, Camp Righteous might not have a particular amount to spare for us.
15 days then.
That would be my recommendation.
Sounds good.
Okay. Do you guys go to bed, or is there anything you want to do with your limited evening time before you go to bed?
I'm good.
I'm gonna try to scry on Dragon Squad.
Oh. Yeah, who are you scrying on?
I forget their names, but I mean, she can pretty clearly picture the leader, the one that like carried in
Sure.
the that red dragon head into the
Okay.
cafeteria.
Roll for me, or cast a spell. Da, 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 da. And you are unable to find anything.
She figured as much.
And do you go to bed after that?
I think she would send a message to Marin just to let him know that they got there all right. Other than that, yeah.
Marin
Just kind of
basically just says, like, thank you for sharing. Let me know on your next steps, and keep me posted as you can. Okay.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I do have to go soon-ish.
Okay.
So I'll let you leave us off on wherever you wanted to, but
No, that's fine. This is an
can't go
okay-ish
past.
point to start for, or start up for next time. The first big part of the journey. I think this is fine. Make sure you've all finalized all, you've got all your items in your characters, and you're leveled up to level 13, and you have all your spells and stuff ready, because next session, the likelihood of combat is high.
I'm so
Very
ready.
good. Very good.
This is
You
gonna be
guys
some
dodged
weird
the
shit.
dragon turtle fight. Thought you might go for that.
Tempting.
I was thinking about just launching a ray of frost at it and seeing what happened, but it seemed like nobody else wanted the fight, so.
I should have banished it.
That would have been interesting.
Such like, how much ground can we cover in those 10 minutes?
Need to polymorph it into a slug.
Ooh.
Then
Yeah,
Not that kind of wizard.
We haven't had that. We haven't had polymorph in this campaign yet. I'm actually pretty happy about it. Not gonna lie.
We need a
That's
silly
what-
wizard.
Silliness.
Yeah, just goofy spells and like like a bard, but not a bard, just a
Probably
doofus wizard.
Just a very silly
I
man.
feel like a bard would actually be better. Lore bard or something. Get a bunch of spells. How many people expected Tim's character to be a paladin? What?
Oh shit! I just now put that together.
Yeah.
Tim, what's happened to you? What a paladin, though. Holy hell.
I mean,
I like the colonial / bondage vibe we're getting.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play the paladin the way I view paladins, which is colonizers. Bunch of fucking like for king and country kind of guys.
Yeah, I got that impression.
This guy's got some shit, though. Izzy's like a bit unsure about him.
Is it because of his voice?
Not because of his voice. It's because of his demeanor. I think there's something off-putting there to her. Like to look that rough, and yet to speak about like sisters and brothers and bringing light to the darkness and stuff when it looks like you've been living in the darkness for years.
Hey.
Can't even bring light to yourself.
It's pretty dark where you have to bring the light. He's just out there in the darkness with a torch.
Yeah.
And
Also, I
sometimes
think-
people keep blowing your candles out. It's rough.
Yeah. I think part of it might also just be that like her view of a paladin is Demarcus.
Though DeMarcus
Yeah.
had a dark bent there.
He did.
This is gonna be a little different than DeMarc.
But hey, you guys gonna have a nice aura again. Huh? Think about
Oh
it.
man.
Maybe.
Cuddle up.
I was-
Cuddle up for that paladin aura.
You're gonna have to
I
snuggle up real close.
I was gonna say, what does the god of the bards look like? Is it just some like crazy dude with striped pants? You know? But I can go with another paladin.
Bards don't get their power from the gods.
There's a god of creativity.
Yeah,
and,
there
like,
is. But
lore
you
and
don't have to
stuff.
be like. It's not like a cleric.
Yeah, but we're all chosen to be champions, you know.
Atticus.
Oh.
He was just born a champion, we know.
Yeah. By the way, this is not important for just the record, John. I don't appear to be able to actually access Atticus.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Let me give it to you. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope all of that imported okay.
I'll look over it for the next little bit and let you know, because we're not playing next week, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're not playing next week, but we will play the following week. I think should be fine.
Alright.
It looks like Vosner's at level 12 on Foundry. So.
Yep. You have to edit that in your features section of your character sheet.
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys ready to have me roll on the disease table over and over? I'm pretty pumped about that.
Not thrilled about that.
Need potions of
It's gonna
cure
be-
disease.
You only need lesser restoration to get rid of a disease, or a paladin to use 5 points of their whatchamacallit.
It's just like before bed every night, we'll just like restore
Yep.
and hope we don't get
if you
ambushed.
It helps if you wear masks if you're within 6 foot of another creature.
The
Taryn doesn't believe in social distancing and
the-
masks. He thinks it's just big Mossstone trying to force its tyranny on us.
Yeah, the bugs that
Really Ardo's fault.
the bugs that lay eggs in your ears at night, they don't. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask.
Makes sense. Also, I would imagine the exhaustion can rack up real quick, since we probably won't be sleeping anywhere nice for a while.
Yeah.
Will
Yeah.
my tower work there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I suppose the tower will work for exhaustion points. We did that before, right? Let the tower take exhaustion away.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still only one.
Right. That's right. One at a time. Yeah, if you guys start racking them up.
It would my druid's forest thing work as well?
Oh yeah. You have to be like what, underground, or what was the stipulations on that? It was weird.
I think I have to be in a forest. I'll check that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it was like in a forest or underground. Maybe that's what the
Yeah,
two were.
I was gonna
And then I was
say-
laughing because like that's the exact opposite of Candlekeep. But yeah. But
There's
it
nothing neat.
should work
Candlekeep.
here, I think. Yeah, you guys and your crazy high level spell, it's gonna get bananas. It's up to see if I can actually throw anything at you that's interesting. It's tricky because you're at this level. If I throw shit at you that like you can take, but then you don't take it super seriously, like burn it all with your high level magic, then like you can just like TPK because you get overwhelmed. So it's a little tricky to balance encounters here.
Yeah, we'll have to be pretty cautious about
Very
being
excited to see.
overzealous on fight 1.
Yeah, hopefully it can live up to the hype. But this has been good. I like the storyline so far. I think it's building to
Yeah.
something neat, and I'm excited for your epic slog through the jungle with your interesting guide that's eventually going to lose his voice in real life, because that sounds really hard to do. And
I'll just keep drinking chamomile tea the whole time.
oof. Yeah, but cool. Next time we'll pick up, and you guys will be heading towards Camp Righteous with your
Awesome.
leader Atticus.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
We'll have to walk past Bob Newman performing a show.
Yep.